Rog, there's no doubt about it. Look at Sorrel having to work double time. Oh, we're playing around with the steering wheel too. He said to us in the interview that when you get into this big beast, by the time you get to about the third or fourth lap, you're actually just a passenger. You hang on and let the car do its own thing.
Well, I want to tell you, you can hear that car almost out. It's a 7-litre motor, and then look at the Chevelle going the inside of Marc du Toit. Paolo Cavalieri is one competent driver. He's normally in a Ferrari 250, but this is his first experience of American saloons, and he's putting up a great show. To stay with Marc du Toit, number one, is good in this sort of company.
You can see that Van Blerk is a bit worried. He's trying to open up a bit of a gap now on Van der Merwe and du Toit. Du Toit's looking for a way past. He wants to get past Sorrel. Remember the last time out, he actually beat Sorrel in the Galaxy, so it's a bit of a vendetta that they have to resume here, and let's see which is going to be better, the Chevy, or are we going to see the Galaxy on the second row?
Not too far behind in the Packers American Studio Baker. We've got Ian Schechter returning to motor racing.
I haven't been in a car for 21 years, and I'm driving two big American cars that are a huge handful, but having a lot of fun so far.
That Studebaker is definitely a handful, as you say, but I'm sure that you and Sorrel are going to have some fun and games.
Sorrel's a bit quicker than me this time, but if he laps me, then we'll have a bit of fun.
So you're going to wait for him?
No, I'm trying to beat the cars that are in front of me at the moment, but yeah, it's a different class anyway, but I'm in the middle of the pack, and I should have a bit of fun, yeah.
Really making a comeback. He drives this stud, another American car, and also rides motorbikes. He's going to have, he says, fairly scary on two-wheelers to come back into that.
Well, you just picked up there that Mr. Z was giving Schechter a bit of a run for his money. And speaking of run for the money, here we go. What's happened at the front? Van Blerk's fallen down to third place. He's made a mistake somewhere on the track, and Sorrel is in front.
That's to the joy of the crowd. They come to see him in their hordes. To see Sorrel van der Merwe, still the icon of South African motor race. But Marc du Toit is beating him here at Zwartkops, is onto him now as they come down around. You see how Sorrel knows how to keep his part of the road there. Going through in the inside is Derek van Black. He moves up to second spot in the Mustang. He's up from Cape Town. The Chevelle is fourth with Cavalieri, and there's Faulkner coming along as well.
Oh, that's an immaculate prepared machine, and it made Sorrel look a bit amateur there. He came up the inside, Van Blerk getting past, and so did du Toit. Look at this. They're coming up on back markers. Look out, Alpha. It's American muscle in your rearview mirror, and I would just move completely off the track.
And it just fills your inside mirror. That's for sure. You just see big American car. Sorrel's car just idles on. Listen to the power of that motor car. Oh, he's got a slipping clutch there. He's not putting all the power through the back wheels there, Peter.
Well, the clutch is slipping. We had to replace the gearbox and the diff on Friday night, so looks like the clutch is just not gripping properly.
And Sorrel needs all that power to get on the road. There's a little angler there of Paul Pereira. It's flying along in Class Y. We've got Gary Stacey coming along the Cortina. There he is. Mike Nellon's a little mini. Mike Nell we'll see in a Ferrari a little bit later. He goes very well and drives that mini particularly well and very aggressively. Here's Sorrel now getting surrounded by that. The Chevelle, Peter, that's a new car for you. It's got a bit of a history.
It took 3 cars to build a one car. It's based on the Smokey Unique car that actually never raced in NASCAR. It was so illegal. We've made it legal, but it's actually a magnificent motor car. It's taken a lot of time and money. John Ten built the car, and it's going to be very competitive. Major force in Legends Racing. Well,
I got to say it's competitive already. And Thomas Faulkner from the Sunday Times, you can read him on a Sunday on motoring there. He's starting to shape. Sorrel gets passed by the Chevelle. That is one very good car. Superbly quick, actually, and Paolo Cavalieri is really giving it a workover. But still, with a slipping clutch or not, Sorrel knows how to handle. Just doesn't have big motor out. What do they rev it to, Peter?
6,500 reps.
Right, there's Faulkner now taking on Sorrel van der Merwe. This is going to be a big day in his life. If he's able to pass him, is he able to do it? Not this time, he's not, but that Mustang is also very quick indeed.
How do you get past 7 tons of machinery when Sorrel van der Merwe's behind it? I don't know.
Well, you notice there's a dent already on the left back with the fender.
Checkered flag comes out and Van Blerk takes the checkered flag. Marc du Toit will come through in second place in the Chevy, so a great drive from du Toit to stay ahead of Sorrel van der Merwe, but I think van der Merwe is going to drop down to about 5th spot because Faulkner pipped him at the line.
Well, Marc du Toit did in fact get second in a very fast Chevy. Paolo Cavalieri, Thomas Faulkner in his second drive, we say Sorrel, Brian Rowlings, Peter Grove, and Zed came through in 8th spot. Next up in the program is an 8-lapper for the Castrol Edge Sports and GT cars built before 1963, and there's some beauties here. We've got Ferraris, a Nemesis from Australia with the Dick Sorensen, a TVR, a 1957 DBR2 Aston Martin, amongst others.
This is a special piece of machinery behind you here, and to put it on pole, you must be pretty excited.
Yeah, very happy, thanks. We had problems last year, so really pleased to be here and be on pole and have the car in good shape. The team from Evolution 2 have done a really good job in getting the car prepared, so very happy, yeah, thanks.
Aston Martin behind you and Sorensen in the Nemesis. He's going to be looking to come through quite early, according to what we spoke to him.
I'm sure he is. He's very, very quick with the Nemesis. The Aston's a beautiful car. Well done to Irvin Laidlaw for bringing such beautiful cars to South Africa, the Ferrari, and I think the Brabham Formula One as well.
27 cars for this 8-lapper. That certainly fills the circuit with high-speed motor cars. It's Paolo Cavalieri from pole position. Away goes the TVR from Huntsveld from Holland. And right behind him is that beautiful 1957 DBR2 Aston Martin with Irvin Laidlaw.
Only about 80 million rands worth of cars on the circuit, including that Aston Martin, and already action. Look at that, the TVR gets completely sideways. Laidlaw all over the back and looking to try and capitalize there. Then comes the second part of this field, and you can see the Cobras are in full effect here. Man, there's a huge amount of them.
Big muscle cars, Keith Hinckley in the front at the moment. There's 8 of them in the field, and lovely to see them turn out as Zwartkops, totally suited to the circuit. As we go back to the action, we've got Paolo Cavalieri in the front. There's number 10, and that is Alan Garrow. He's lying 5th at the moment. Beautiful example. They've polished these cars. This is a big day in their circuit racing life. Right, there it is in the front. The TVR, Peter. That's something special we haven't seen before.
We've never seen that before. Well, we saw one way back in the early 60s with Neville Austin, but that had an MGA engine. This one's got a V8 engine, and it just doesn't handle that short wheelbase. You'll watch him. He's all over the place.
With one of the best collection of historic racing cars is Irvin Laidlaw, who brought out his Aston Martin.
So you're third on the grid in the Aston.
Well, that's great because it's an older car than most of the other cars, and they've got bigger engines, and I'm very pleased to be third.
Definitely one of the most popular cars out there. A lot of guys are going to be looking at that green machine saying, wow, it's good to see an Aston Martin battling with your usual cars, which is the Ferraris and the Porsches in this class.
The Aston, I think, is one of the prettiest cars that has ever been made. And that's why I bought it, not necessarily because it was a fantastic race car, but just because it is so beautiful.
And you also saw that Healy of Brian Algo Racing is the ex-France Pretorius car houses. We've got Vic Peachy in there, and we've got Neil Oosthuizen in his Spider. There it is, now 425. You don't often see Spiders racing.
There are not too many left in South Africa. They're all now becoming huge collector's items. That one's short of a major rebuild, but it's still there and it's still racing competitively. So
46, the Yellow Cobras, Keith Hinckley. He's the leader of the Cobras at the moment and doing well. Here he comes, Peachy just behind him. And then we've got the Spider coming through. You also might have seen that number 356 at the 356 Porsche being driven by Ferdy Finike.
Doing quite nicely there. You can see the 425 car also having some fun and games. That's Neil Oosthuizen, and he's hanging in amongst the usual competitors and now in amongst the Cobras. So the Cobras starting to come through the field quite nicely. The 69 one is Gary Swan as they head up the back straight into Egypt corner.
And they've got a lovely sound in those big V8 motors. Here comes Brian Alge. Isn't that a classic looking British sports car? And Michael Toner, that car, that Dart, that South African built Dart, has won championships. It's always in the hunt. Very well driven by Mike. And those Darts, those were built in the 50s as well, 50s and early 60s. Here's the DBR Aston Martin. 78 million rands worth of car. Ahead of the Austin Healy, it's a straight 6 as well. And on his tail, he's got the Michael Toner Dart going like a rocket.
Certainly is. Across the line to complete another lap. It's coming to the closing stages now. I wonder if Paolo Cavalieri has been better just yet. He was in some serious problems there. And Heinfeld, the man from the Netherlands, was all over the back of him in that TVR. I'm not sure if he's caught him just yet. Look at this. The Dart looking for a way past. Just in the background, just flat out dices all the way through this field. As you said, Roger, 27 cars on the grid, and now it's just chaos and traffic jams in every corner.
Where else do you get Cobras and Alphas and Anglers and Cortinas all racing together? Right, here comes the Cobras. They're having a fine day. They love coming out to Zwartkops. The circuit just suits them down to a T. Peachy comes through. 425 is the car of the Reverend Neil Oosthuizen from Johannesburg, from Trinity Church there. He's out there racing and enjoying himself.
He's in some big trouble there because he's got cars all over him at the moment. The 151 car, that's Martin Singleton looking to get past, but the Rev is keeping him at bay and keeping the revs up on that machine as they go onto the back straight again.
Into the final stages, here comes the two Cobras on their tails. The leader of the pack, that's 69, that's Gary Swan, and just behind him, as we say, is the leader, and that is Paolo Cavalieri in that Ferrari. It's been rebuilt for the racing. Atana Racing, this is part of their team, and he's certainly putting up a great show here. 3 seconds adrift to him is Huntsveld. felt in that TVR. Handful here, but certainly giving a good account of himself. There you can see it just behind, coming into view as they get into the hairpin. We're in the final stages now. Nothing. Always
wide. He ran wide, Rog. He got it completely out of shape.
Every
Can
time.
he handle it?
That happens
I think
every
turn
time.
two. This is
I
very,
can't
very
take
quick.
turn two.
not his best corner. He's done it twice there. Hansveld went into the felt there, that's for sure. Right, here comes Michael Toner going very well. It's a compact little package there, very effective car. There goes Irvin Laidlaw. Here's the Brian Algar. Lovely sound. Both of those straight six engines and classic British sports cars. Here's Ishmael Beloy. He's in the little dart as we get down to the final stages. On his way to the flag, the winner here, Paolo Cavalieri in the Ferrari 250.
TVR came through in second place. Then was Brian Algar in the Austin Healey. Irvin Laidlaw eventually falling down into fourth place in that beautiful Aston Martin. And Michael Toner making the top 5 in his GSM Dart.
Here comes race 3 for the Execuline Pre-72 Trans Am cars. And I want to tell you, this is a big fight going on here. There's no love lost between those two leaders, Ben Morganroot and Willie Hippen. They've been fighting it out for years. Colin Ellison, third in his new Alfa Romeo, first time he's been out driving this motocross. We get underway, and there's no Ben Morganroot, and there's no Willie Hippen.
Wonder what happened there.
They arrived late. They arrived late, so they had to start from pit lane. So they had to now fight their way right through the field.
Has anything changed? No, I don't mean.
No, but hang on. The most important factor here is to say that if they're starting from pit lane and they were the quickest two drivers in qualifying and practice, these guys are in for some serious problems.
31
There they go.
cars they've got, 29 cars they've got to pass in the race. They've got a major job. Here comes Richard Bernard in the Mercury Cougar, challenging Colin Ellison. That's going to be one quick alpha. Colin Ellison can certainly pedal the car out. Then third spot, we've got the BMW in its racing colours, and that is Mike O'Sullivan in the 2002. And challenging him just behind these two with Ellison and Richard Bernard. There it is, Anton Rath. He's from drag racing, use that for drag. Is that one rocket of a Mazda R100? And that really keeps the Mazda fans happy. There's a big contingent of them all over the country. Oh, and Penard's lost the Cougar.
Get your fresh drugs here. That's what you have to do. He's going to have a look on the sideline. Whoop. You don't want to be throwing that car around too hectically. Bernard getting it completely wrong out of 7. He's going to fall way back into the clutches. How far back are Willie and Ben? Just looking into the background there. Are we going to see them coming through turn 7? It's going to be tight. There he is. There's Hepburn. He's right there. So it's going to be very close to them coming through this field. The smaller cars are soon going to be feeling American muscle in their tailpipes.
He'll be passing him 2-3 into a corner. Here's Mark O'Sullivan coming through. Alex Divov, number 18 there. The little Sirocco goes on the inside of Mike O'Sullivan as they come through. And another quick little motor car. And this is the Chef Can-Am of Eugene Coast. There's Willie, number 6. He just walks past these other cars, muscles his way. And look at that traffic jam ahead of it. He'll probably pass 6 cars before they finish the next lap.
And Morganroot's following him. Yeah, Morganroot's right on his tail going, right, you play the blocker, I'm going to sit behind you and just get through this field. If Datsun had no chance, I think the Mustang just went, thank you very much. Coming through, Chevy Camaro around the outside, now looking to try and go through about 4 or 5 cars into turn 4. Watch the late brakes. What brakes? There's no lights on the car. We don't even know where Willie's braking or not.
Here's Anton Roth, Mike Schmidt behind in another quick escort. Divov, Mike O'Sullivan. Here's Bernard back in business. He's coming down the road. He's ready for action as well. There he is. Willem Pretorius behind him in the yellow Fiat. Here we go. That car really does go. That's prepared by Carl Pino down at Vanderbilt Park. As on we go in this race, here's the Alphas. Carl Estes in the yellow one. No, it's Brian Estes and his brother. Inside there's Martini. And they are having really flying the flag for Alpha. In fact, Esterhazen's father used to be the production manager at Alpha. So Alpha is in his blood, that's for sure. Carl Foss comes through, and then we got Anglias and Escort. 6-stage Joe Store is always in the picture, as well in that little blue Escort at the back.
And the most important fact here, Rog, is that the 2 American muscle cars have got through that pack. Here comes Pinard. He's going to move up the inside. In the background, look at that. That's Willie Hepburn. He's come through the field with about 4 laps and nearly with the leaders. That's how quick he's going.
They'll have to watch in their mirrors. Here he comes. He'll take a few cars on the way to the hairpin. Got Micah Sullivan here, who's lovely to have that sort of power under the bonnet. That was the ex-Michele Lupini.
Oh, Pinard got out of shape again. Theo Van Vuren taking evasive action. And there comes Willie up the inside. Van Vuren will just keep that outside line. Willie keeps that Sunoco machine absolutely flat through there. Can you believe it? Goodbye, Pinard. Your time is up.
He's so focused as Hepburn, he just sees the flag ahead of him, goes round the outside and the black lines on the road. Oh, and he's he's made a mistake. The Schmidt car's in his way. No, it's not. He just swings to the outside. Here he comes. He's going to take Pinot. Pinot's racing Westbank V8. Looks like he's getting out of shape, as is Schmidt and Ben Morgan. That's his chances gone in this one, as other cars will come past him and put him down the
Sorry,
field.
I just want to correct you because Ben's already back on track and racing. So I don't know if it's over just yet. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
He just kept the pedal flat, kept it in second gear, spun it round, and off he goes again to resume the battle.
And while he's racing, he's going to be a threat, that is for sure. But anyway, the big heat is off Willie at the moment. He doesn't see Ben in his mirrors. Here comes the others. We've got Caprice with Kevin Taylor and all the others coming into the corner. We've got Mazda 323 with Colin Green. There he goes round. Still quite a contender with his indicator going. He's just say past me on the left-hand side, I think. Right, here comes the others. Just a pack of cars. I mean, you really do assemble them every time. They love racing at Zwartkops, Peter.
Oh yeah, we were a tremendous compliment that was paid to us by the number of entries that we had. Every field was full and packed to capacity.
Oh,
I see
problem.
Cougar's
Sorry,
gone off
the
again.
Cougar's gone off again there. Peter, sorry to interrupt. It looks like Pinard's day might be over, and he's fallen way back into the pack now. He might just circulate to see if he can finish up as high as possible, but I think that might be the end of the debut for that Mercury Cougar.
Well, he's shown us a threat, that is for sure. That car from the Vaal is definitely going to be a threat.
That car only turned the wheel for the first time on Friday morning. So,
Well, Mike O'Sullivan about to go into
so it
pit
needs a
lane
lot
too.
of sorting out the handling, yeah. But he's still going, he's still going. I'm sure he'll get it right for the next heat.
Certainly will, especially with Foney and Carl Pino on that team.
Final stages, and here comes Willie, and he's on Ellison's tail for second. He's taking his right on his tail. Ellison is ahead in the Alpha. Nice performance sliding out of it, but it's just sheer American cubes.
There it all goes. Nothing you can do about it. He's through. Yeah.
That's what American horsepower's about.
Yeah, take care then, bye-bye now. That's what it's all about. I don't think
So
that
Willie's
Alpha's
gone
got a
to the
chance.
front, and it's all over bar the shouting. And Ben has come up as well. He's moved himself up into, it's quite far down, really.
He's up to fourth now. He's got to just catch that Anton Ross machine. If he gets past him, he'll be into third. So it looks like he's going to try and get him through that new Egypt-sponsored corner. He's got him. He's gone to third place. So Ben Morganhout from the pit lane. Willie Hepburn takes first, and Morganhout's going to be on the podium.
He's certainly going to be on the podium. Ellison comes down the road in second position. As Willie goes through, he's going to cross the line ahead of them all. What a drive from the back. He hasn't put a foot wrong. They get the flag from Henny de Beer. It's Willie Hepburn wins it ahead of Colin Ellison. A great drive by him. And Ben Morganhout, can you believe it, home in third spot.
Anton Ross takes fourth. Theo van Vuren in the BMW 2002. Alex Divov in the Sirocco. And Willem Pretorius in seventh place in his Fiat 131. A few celebrities came and joined us on the day as well. Good to see Paul Rotherham and Darren Wackhead Simpson from 94.7 Highveld Stereo. They came to be part of the action. Now, we've heard all week that you two are going to be here. You're here. Who's going to take it today, Wax?
You know what? I'm not even going to be a braggart here. I'm going to come stone last. Stone last. I mean, this is my grand's car.
I'm a bit concerned because I did teach you a little bit at Westbank Raceway one day, and you seem to go quite well there.
Yeah, you did, but then I lost all confidence after that. You see, this is something you got to do all the time. I'm quite a slow driver naturally on the roads. So,
Rubbish! You are not a slow driver on the roads. He's lying. He's trying to give you an excuse as to why he's not going to perform well today.
You know,
But I must be honest, I think we're both a bit nervous. This is kind of out of our comfort zone. It's one thing driving on the roads,
Yeah.
it's something else coming to a track like this and doing it where you've never done it before.
and you know what? It's one thing driving on the track when there's no other cars. Now there's going to be a whole bunch of other cars. So what we are going to be speed bumps out there.
A mobile chicane, eh?
That's
yeah,
it.
exactly, which is a bit scary.
Well, these other cars are supposed to be a Ferrari. I'm not quite sure if it's going as well. But Peter, I've got to say, hats off to you guys. This is the way motorsport should be. Massive amount of crowd drawn here because there's so many people that want to see these guys and the legends of motorsport involved on your day.
Well, we're a little bit worried about them and their driving skills, but they equated themselves pretty well, particularly when Darren started putting up a smoke screen to block off the opposition.
Yeah, I believe Mel put a little button in there that said, okay, if anybody comes behind you, just hit the smoke screen and no one will be able to pass you.
This is a handicap race. It's over 8 laps. The Tana Classic Touring cars. Some of these cars sound fairly rough. There's an Alfetta. Not too many people drove those in the past, I must say. Alfettas, and here they come. We've got Datsuns. We've got, there's Stuart Grant. He's going very well in his little Sirocco. Just obtained that towards the middle of last year. And Stuart won on Friday night as well in one of the races held at the circuit. And we've even got a Mercedes here, Colin Keane. There he comes up on the inside. We're getting more and more Mercs into this form of racing, actually. And they're picking up these cars fairly cheaply, and they are competitive. Big six-cylinder 280E motors, most of them, and are very, very effective around these circuits. Right, there's the little Lotus 23.
That's Willie Grobler. And Willie Grobler raced at Zwartkops in 1961 against Jim Redmond and Phil Reed on motorbikes.
I remember that very well, Peter.
So that's his little car. It makes a racket, terrible racket. It's got a cracked exhaust. It's been like that for the last year. But Willie, but he's over 80 and he's still racing. I don't think he's got the energy to fix the exhaust.
And he raced in the TT as well. But that's in his job at the moment. Fix the exhaust pipe.
Oh, looks like Rotherham is leading the Celebrity Challenge. There's the smoke screen. Oh, he's got the smoke screen out. But Darren, there's no one behind you, bud. And he's waving to the crowd as well. Concentrate on the road. Pick your line. Oh, you're not even hitting the apex. What are you doing, Simpson? You mad kid.
That's Fanas is there in the MG as well. He's gone to the front. That's the two celebrities. Rotherham, there they are. And this is a very rough car. That is the Willie Traubler car. There's the Alfeda 61. Is
Paul Griffin.
Paul Griffin in his Alpha suit. You don't see too many of those racing in the moment, but all flying the flag for Alpha. They're certainly out on these days. There's a whole Alpha contingent come out to race, and these cars go back to the 50s and 60s. Good handlers, great gearboxes, motors don't give trouble, and they certainly go. And there's Capita in that white one. He's always at the races.
He's at just about every race. He can't stop racing. That's Capita Senior.
He kind of comes in, just refuels, and then goes back out again, eh?
That's what he does all day long, yeah. Sean, his son, got him into racing. Now Sean is in America, and now Dad carries on racing, the family fleet.
Nothing wrong with that.
But this is a handicap race, so you can see the guys that started scratch have got quite a big job to do. There was something like 25 cars started as that rough car comes past us. And Stuart Grant is making his way up through this pack, going very well in that little Sirocco. So you've got to really, you can't afford to loaf in this one going into corners.
The other thing you can't do is
stuck.
break out of your time, Rog. If you dial in a certain time, I know that Paul Rotherham had that battle. Mel dialed in a 1:33 for him, and he actually went and did a 1:30 in the race.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he's going to be out of the contention for the top positions.
Yeah.
But if you remain in your time like Darren's doing with his big smoke screen down the back, he may even take the win.
He could. He's got everybody by. They're all trying to get their windscreens wiped. There's oil on the circuit, there's oil in the air, there's oil on the grass. It's quite a day.
That was smoke screen. There wasn't dropping oil. He was upset with marshals.
It's a little button that he's got in the right-hand side of his steering wheel. He hit that, and everybody stays behind him.
So he gets near the marshals, he switches it off and comes through clean. Right here, these other two fighting it out there, big time there. Carl van Nust is going very well in the MG, actually, that South African coloured MG. I think it's the ex-Roger Pierce one. There it is now. And then we've got Rotherham, that's one of the Peter de Toy cars as well. And these are the first four in this race.
It's Gino Alessio, and I think 25 is Wynand Mulder.
Notice the angler is not smoking because he's close to the marshal box.
He turned it off.
I think it's also because he's going downhill.
Nicely done. Checkered flag comes out. Stuart Grant's going to take the victory, but will he take overall? Because remember, there's uncorrected times and on a handicap system. Let's see who's going to be on top of the podium. Darren Simpson, great effort there from you, Wackhead. Love to see you out in a car. And actually, Wynand Mulder takes the overall. Gino Alessio finishes up in second place. Stuart Grant in third. And Wackhead Simpson eventually in seventh place overall. And congratulations to him and Sam on their engagement. Join us just after the break for more action from the Execuline Motor Insurance Springbok Series from Zwartkops.
Volvo's Crash Tester Deals is back. Get an incredible 20,000 Rand off the Volvo S40, the new Volvo C30, and even off the Volvo XC60, Car of the Year finalist. Test drive a Volvo Crash Tester Deal today. Volvo, for life.
Hello, I'm Supersport SD, and I'm Supersport HD. And although we come from the same place, we're quite different. I'm 5 times different. That's picture quality. There's no need to boast about it. Sorry, what was that? I'm used to broadcasting in stereo surround sound. I said there's no need to boast about it. Well, it's very cool. All right. But what do I need to be you then? Not much. You need to be a premium subscriber, you need an HD PVR decoder, and you need a full HD or HD-ready TV. That's it? To be me, that's it.
Supersport HD. Another sporting first from your world of champions.
Hi, I'm Bridget Hartley. If you have a dream, a goal in life, it's important to pursue it. Come on, let's play.
They came from across the globe to compete in Africa's greatest tournament. We saw fantastic football, which caused some early shocks. The hosts impressed,
It's very much like a full hand.
while big names faltered. We followed the heat of competition, the agony of defeat, and the joy of success. But on the day, there could only be one champion of Africa. You followed every exhilarating moment of the Orange Africa Cup of Nations, Angola 2010, where world football lives, only on SuperSport, your world of champions.
We know their weaknesses. They know ours. We know what they're capable of, as do they of us. Long have we tested one another, desiring to know who is strongest, fastest, shrewdest. The answer keeps changing. For in truth, there is almost nothing that sets us apart. The Six Nations follow 6 teams' search for that decisive moment of brilliance. Only on SuperSport. Brought to you by BizHub, South Africa's favorite brand.
We're back at the Zwartkops International Raceway for the second part of our program, and the rain that was forecast has thankfully stayed away. Now for the Castrol Edge South African TT, and what a lineup we have for this race. We've got something like 27 cars entered. On pole, you saw him there, Tony Martin in the backdraft Cobra from Durban. Alan Manshaw from overseas in one very rapid sorted out Chevron. He's second ahead of Mike Nell in his P4 Ferrari. Here they go. It's going to be over 45 minutes. And anything can happen. They've got a pit stop in the middle. There's Mike McLaughlin, number 87, another backdraft car. Mike Nell, there's a green Ferrari inside. And away we go. It's going to be Tony Martin. We go on board with Mike McLaughlin in the Cobra. Here they go. On the left-hand side, the blue car's Tony Martin. There's the Minshaw car. It might not quite have the legs of the Cobra down the straight, but man, does he make up for it in the corners.
He certainly does. The handling of that car is absolutely superb. Just in the background, a whole bunch of GT40s coming through. You can also see the 2 Detroit boys are out there too, having some fun and games in their Shelbys, but they've got to catch Tony Martin. Tony, new year, and hopefully a new, quicker car than we saw at Kyalami. A little bit of problems there, but it looks like you got it all sorted out, putting it on pole.
Yeah, our car went well at Kyalami. He had a bit of finger trouble in the pits. We've taken the car back, done a few little mods to it. We've actually detuned the car slightly on a request from Peter Detroit, who has kindly invited us after a long time to race in his TT, which we're extremely happy to be.
Cobra's 1 and 2. No, it's Cobra's in the front, actually. It's Tony Martin. Then we've got Alan Manshaw, McLaughlin in third at the moment. Same order as we started. And they start another lap. Long way to go in this race, and McLaughlin's starting to close up. That's the legs of a big 7-litre Cobra, or 6-litre, whatever engine they've got fit in this car, with a little 2-litre B8 Chevron. One of the most effective sports racing cars around.
Up onto the inside and looking for a way to keep McLaughlin at bay. Here comes the GT40. That's Nick Clark in that machine. Youngster driving out there for the first time. He's going to be partnering up with his dad, Chris. This is an awesome machine too. Look at that Corvette.
It's a grand sport, that one there. It's Michael Compagni. He comes out often here to South Africa. He's done particularly well in this country. Here we go. Minshaw, then it's Mike Nell in the Ferrari. You don't get him much better looking like that. We seem to say that with just about every car. Peter Bailey's the next one coming up there. It's Tony Martin, McLaughlin, Cobra's 1 and 2. Minshaw's third in the B8 Chevron. Then it's Mike Nell, Peter Bailey. Then we've got Nick Clark driving with his father. Chris Clark has been at racing a long, long time. Nick's the quick one to get the qualifying, and Chris is the steady one to get the results.
It looks like it's if Nick is starting to close into the back end there of Peter Bailey. He didn't get a great start off the line, but now starting to close the gap up very nicely. The 2 Cobras are the cars to beat so far as they cross the line. And look at this, absolutely flat out stuff. Back on board the backdraft car as we go into turn 1, and he just slides it in there. A little bit of understeer there as he came through, but nicely done. And then a little bit further back, lots more action.
And we caught a glimpse there, the 23 Lotus there of Mike Knight is driving. He's sharing with Alan Bailey. Here it comes out. That's an effective car as well. Then the Clarks. Then
that's 195. That's Craig Shorter and Alan Eve. They're sharing one of the GT40s. So Shorter's car out there. I think Alan Eve actually started the first part of this. Looking into the yard, looks like it's Alan behind the wheel. And then behind them, another big Cobra.
That's Frank Klinkert, comes one of the fastest Cobras in the country. Then we've got Franco de Matteo in his car. There's an interesting car, Peter. 31, the Nomad.
Yeah, we had one in the late 60s that came out. Kunich brought it out. He was actually the principal behind those cars. And Barry Shepherd's the second time he's brought out the Nomad. And it's just such a beautiful little motor car. And it runs with this little 1600 Escort motor.
And it's the handling, and the TVR Griffin is right on his tail with that big V8 motor as well. There's Franco de Mateo. And then 196 is Rene Delay. He comes from Mauritius, or certainly his Uncle Oliver comes from Mauritius. He drives it very well.
Onto the inside, looking for a way past. It doesn't look like de Mateo's got an answer. That GT40. The one thing you've got to take into account here, Rog, as well, which is quite key, and a lot of people wouldn't realize, the different heights of these cars. You've got to be so aware of the factor of height and distance between yourself and the other race cars out there. Because if you get one of those Nomads coming through, or particularly one of the slightly lower cars like the Chevron, you won't see it in your rearview mirror.
Cobras 1 and 2 at the moment. Still Minshaw worrying him, snapping away at the hill. Let them make one mistake. It's early days in this race yet, and that Minshaw could do very well. He's won the